Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing around the block. Now, get your mind out of the gutter, because Sleuth is just walking around the neighborhood. That's what he's doing around the block. And sometimes when you take a look at a puzzle, you can tell almost immediately it's going to be a lot of fun. This particular puzzle, 2 stars. I mean, it is a Saturday afternoon weekend puzzle after all. Or at least that's when I'm intending to post it. I don't know when you guys are going to be playing it. And it's the first puzzle I've ever played from Krusti Clawn. Deliberately misspelled, I think. Not clown, clone. And rather than sort of try and focus on the thumbnail, let's take a look at today's grid. Because like I said, sometimes you take a look at a grid and you're thinking, wow, that does look like a lot of fun. And let's do exactly that with Around the Block by Krusti Clawn. And the following set of rules, you can see very much the around the block kind of diagram there in the middle. I'll explain in a second why the cages are sometimes blue, sometimes orange. Rules-wise, we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, every 3x3 box. Now, odd/even cages. So digits within an arrow cage sum to an odd total. Digits within a blue cage sum to an even number total. If given, digits within a cage must sum to the small number in the top left corner of the cage, and digits may repeat within a cage if allowed by other rules. Which I think is helpful, given this is like a humongous cage. It's going to be quite awkward to try and make it work without any repeat digits. Anyhow, what does all of that mean? It means that these 3 cells, when you add them all up, have to come to an odd total. These 3 cells, whenever you add them up, have to come up to an even total. There's only one cage with a given total, which is this one, which means these 5 cells have to come up to 35, which also happens to be an odd total, and that's why it's got an orange border. Unusual for killer cages. Have I got an example of that? This cell, if that's 2, that can also be 2. That's totally acceptable that I can repeat numbers in the cages, as long as obviously they obey other rules, as in it still adds up to an even sum in that cage, and the 2 is not duplicating in the row, column, or box. Right, we also have the following set of rules. Arrows. So digits along an arrow sum to the number in the attached circle, and digits may repeat on arrows, again if allowed by other rules, although looking at them, the arrows are always in the same column or row, so not to worry about that. So for example, if this cell is 2 and this cell is 5, these 2 cells add up to 7, which I'm going to need to be able to place in here. So that would be essentially the rule with arrow sums. Then we have X's and V's, of course. Digits separated by a V must sum up to 5. So these 2 cells sum up to 5. If that's 2, this would have to be a 3 to make sure they do add up to 5. And digits separated by an X must sum up to 10. If that's a 2, this would have to be an 8 to make sure that these 2 cells do add up to 10. Not all X's and V's are given. 3 in here and 8 in there. Clearly adds up to 10. Clearly adds up to 5. No V, no X, not a problem. Then last but not least, we've got Kropki dots, and it's really just white Kropki dots today. So digits separated by a white dot are consecutive, and not all white dots are necessarily given. So if this cell here is a 2, this would have to be 1 or 3 to make sure that these 2 cells are consecutive. 2 and a 3 in here without a white dot or a V, also not a problem. Right, it does look like a lot of fun. I'm sure you guys have a fairly strong inclination about how to solve this one. As always, link in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. So, we are clearly talking about parity today. Very much, by the rules. These 2 cells add up to 5. To make sure that the total in this cage is also an odd digit, this has to be even. Expect a whole bunch of coloring in this, where blue will be even, consistent with the rules, orange will be odd, consistent with the rules. These 2 cells are 10, that's an even digit. This has to be an odd digit for the sum to be odd, that's orange. 10 has to be even. The flip side of a 10 is always even. Sorry, always the same parity. So if that's 2, that's 8 to add up to 10. Again, these two are odd. This would have to be even to make sure that on aggregate they are odd. Even has to be odd to make sure that they do get to odd. Even, well, hang on. The sum is even, as in 10, plus even to get to whatever this is. This has to be even now. Essentially, these two cells added up to the same. So to get to an even parity, I either have to have both are even or both are odd. In this case, they are both even. 5, one is even, one is odd. And we're just going to go around in circles and see how many I can get down, basically. Let's have a think. Oh, same thing with the arrows. So yeah, that is very helpful. That is again even. That is again odd. Remember, these two cells, because they are a difference of 1, they will always add up to an odd digit. So if that's 6, that's 5 or 7. Together they are odd. That means this has to be odd, so that on aggregate, these 3 cells are even. Now, these two are going to be the same parity. So if this is odd, no. If this is odd, this will be even. If this is even, this will be odd. So they're opposite parity. So essentially I have one of each in here. It's a bit premature to start thinking about, yeah, definitely a bit premature to start thinking about different colors, but obviously box 5, these cells are 1, 2, 3, 4. To get to 35 in 5 cells, it has to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they are, of course, unique because they're all in the same box. Doesn't help me with my odds and evens, though. So can I do more, is the question. Oh, yeah, I can, of course, in column 2. I'm just not paying attention. So I've got 3 evens already in the column. Remember, the parity on a 10 or an X is always the same. If these two are even, I've already got 5 in column 2. That's impossible. So all of these have to be odd, including this cell, which gives me the fact that this is even. This is 1 away. This is odd. And yeah, on aggregate, that is indeed even. I've got now, yep, 5 odds in this row. So that's even. Right, can I do some similar magic in here? Yes, column 8 is the same. I've got 3 evens. That means all of these are odd. That means 2 odds makes an even. Remember, this is an X. That is even. That's got to be odd. These two are odd. This has to be another odd to make sure that on aggregate the cage is even. I've got now, yes, 5 odds in row 8. That means these two are even. Excellent. Now, I've got 1 of each in this column. Yeah, I've got 4 and 3, so 1 of each again. The X gives me another even in here. That kind of seems to be about it for the moment in terms of parity. Very tough to think about these. No, it's not very tough. I've got 3 in the box. I can't. These two have to be the same parity so that when you add it to the even digit, the overall outcome is even. Can't have another 2 evens. That'll be 5 in the box. That's got to be odds. I can have 2 more odds in here. I can have 2 more odds and 2 more evens. I can't have 2 more evens in here, so that is odd. But these two, I'm not sure I can determine just yet. I mean, never mind. I mean, like, we've come like a huge way in terms of parity. We can probably think about the 5s next. So these are clearly the 1 3s because, you know, 5 is either 1 4 2 3. I meant the other way around. This is the 2 4. These are the 1 3s. So these two are odd, and they're not 1 or 1 3 because that would break this cell. So this is at least 1 5. This is at least a 6. So this is 6 or 8. This is 2 or 4. Guessing, same logic. Yeah, there's a lot of rotational symmetry about this puzzle. Basically, the only thing that breaks the rotational symmetry is the X here and the white dot. Is that a true statement? Otherwise, it is entirely rotationally symmetrical. Very interesting. Okay. Where was I going with this? I said something about 1 3s. Yeah, so can't be 1 3. Minimum is 1 5. This is therefore 6 or 8. This is therefore 2 or 4. So they do add up to 10. This is too many options. It's 5, 7, and 9. Chances are there's definitely a 1 or 3 in here. If I don't have a 1 or 3, as in this is a 1-3 pair, minimum is 5 and 7. That doesn't add up in here. So there's a 1-3 in here, plus a 5, 7, or 9, and another 1, and a 5, 7, or 9 in here. Now the 9 can't be there, because 1 and 9, even if I minimize the other digit, this will be 10. So 9 has to be in one of these two cells. And essentially there's a 1-3 with a 5, 7 in here. Can't have a 5 on the X. And therefore this is 9, 3, 7, kind of the flip side of this X. And I am guessing all of this logic is duplicated in here. So we kind of get all of this for free. Free, I mean, you know, you've already spent the effort. 1, 3, 5, 7, not a 5, and therefore 9, 3, 7. Excellent. Right, this is 6 or 8. Minimum is this is 2, 4. So this is 6 or 8. This is 2 or 4. I'm guessing, yeah. Again, if I minimize this 2, 4, this is 6 or 8. Less interesting. So that was another part of the breaking the rotational symmetry with this X. Thing is, with so much progress, I say so much progress, we've got a lot of pencil marks, we've got a lot of parity determined. What I don't have is digits, and that's because I'm not paying attention. That's a 5. 5 is not on this X, 5 is not on this X. I have all the odd digits. Somehow I missed the fact that I've got 5 odd digits in column 2. This is odd, which makes this odd to make sure that they add up on aggregate to even. And yeah, I've got all 5 odds in column 8 too. This therefore is even, and therefore this is even again to make sure that 3 cells add up to even. So this is 2, 4, or 6. I can get away with 2, 8. Sorry, 2, 6 in essence. So this is 2, 4, or 6. This is 2, 4, or 6. Don't know what this is. Don't know what this is. What? No. Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking I broke it because the 5 is not in these cells and the 5 is not here, but no, it is. That's the 5. This is not 5. This is a 7-9 pair. This is not a 7. This is not a 3. And no, it doesn't help me on this side. It's fascinating that this ended up... I'm so sorry. Rewind. I'll rewind to the point where I clearly made the mistake, which is here. I've got 5 odds in the column. This is clearly even. I was wondering why the rotational symmetry broke all of a sudden, and it didn't. It's just I made a mistake. And these are even. Yeah. 5's not here, 5's not there, 5 is still in 1 of 3 places, so I can't actually place that 5 digits like I thought I could. Is that all I can find right now? So this X is just useless right now. It's 1, 9, or 3, 7, kind of same as its partner, which at least we've restricted partially. There's no 9 in here. And yes, I can have a 7 with a 1. And then that would be a 3 or a 9. So it's really not a challenge. I mean, again, these were 2, 4, 6, but didn't really help me. So maybe I need to be thinking a bit more about this. And the fact that I have 5, 7, 9 in the column, because you see, these are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So even if I have 6 and 8 in here, I have another 5, 7, or 9. So I've got the 5, 7, 9 as a triple, and then essentially these are 1, 2, 3, 4. Now use the white dot. Which one of these two cells could be related? Well, that's got to be the 4, that's got to be the 5. And these are not 4s, and then none of these are 5s. And specifically 7, 9 pair means this is a 6, 8 pair, and this is, well, since it's not 4, it can only be 2, 8, 6. Lovely. Am I gonna carry on with my coloring? I may do. That 2 gave me a 4 and a 6, which I'm pretty sure will make this 1 and 5, since I can't do 3, 4. What am I saying? I can do 1, 5, I can't do 2, 4. So this is 1, 5. That has to be the 1. That has to be the 5. This has to be the 9. This is a 3, 7 pair. Right, we're rolling now, finally. 3, 2, can still be 4, 6. This is 7, 9 pair. Don't need the pencil marks anymore. This is a 4, 8. Not a 3. Love to think I can do more. So by placing this digit, yes, that digit again, that gave me 2, gives me 8. I can do 3, 5, and I can do 1, 7. So less exciting this time round. It makes this 7, 9, but it was always 7, 9. In fact, 6 makes this 7. This makes this 9. That makes this 9, which is least helpful, because if that was 7, that would have been interesting. That would have been the 9, but it isn't. 8 in here, I've just got to pay attention. 6 and 4. This is a very clever puzzle. The way it just, you make a bit of progress and suddenly the rest just falls apart. It's just fascinating how it's happening. This is an 8, because 2, 4, and 6 are already in there. This is not 2 or 8, this is 4 or 6. And how does that help me? Let me think. I mean, that's not a 4. I mean, that still seemingly could be 6 or 8. It's either 2, 6 or 2, 4. Can I do anything with that 1, 3? Seemingly not yet. What about this 6, 8? No. I mean, 4 is not here. So where is 4 in the column? It's got to be there. 4, 2, therefore 6, therefore 8, and therefore 2 or 6 in here. And that is helpful because, yeah, that gives me 1. There's no 1 in here. That's got to be 3, 5 now to get to 8. That's got to be the 7 that is left. That 3 gives me a 7, and then a 1, 9 pair. Okay. This is 2, 6. That can't be the 2. That's 6. That's 2. And so far, it's all like, I mean, I don't want to say clockwork, because to be fair, I haven't exactly made this puzzle fall apart easily. There's no 4s in here. Well, I mean, there was never 6s in there. Right, there's one more trick up my sleeve, which I've been trying to avoid using. No 2s obviously there. Which is the Fistemafel ring. You know, whenever I come across a puzzle that gives you these lines, admittedly it's missing this cell and this cell, and we know largely the composition of these, makes me think that we should use it. So like, I mean, it's a ridiculous conclusion to say, but I mean, like, there are no more 4s in these cells, but you kind of deduce it anyway with, I mean, the only one that you don't deduce is this one. Interesting. There is another 4. Fascinating now. Right, so Sudoku says there are 4s somewhere in this column. It's not this cell, and it's not this cell because one of these two is a 4. I mean, I don't have the corner pencil mark, but there, and therefore that's a 4. So in the ring now, I have 3 4s, but if you take a look at the quadrants, I only have 2 4s at the moment. So conclusion is this has to be a 4. I'm going to try and avoid using it for a bit. If I really find that I'm not making too much progress without it, I will come back and use it. But what I guess it's sort of pointed out is I should probably do a bit more Sudoku. So how about doing some of that? That is, for example, these are 5s. There are 5 X-Wing. Just, Sudoku. So that's 5s. 1. Less clear here. Twos. There's a 2 on these 2 cells. There's a 2 on these 2 cells. There's a 2 in here. That's about it. Okay. We talked about 3s. No, we haven't talked about 3s, but to be fair, there isn't a lot to say about the 3s. The 4s we talked about, the 5s we've done. The 6s, there's a 6 in one of these 2 cells. It's not in here. Here's a 2. That 2 should help a little bit. I didn't mean to do that. 2's in one of 2 cells. It lines up, meaning that can't be a 2. This is the 2. And I definitely didn't mean to circle that either. 6s, there's a 6 here. 6 is in one of 3 places. I mean, I may as well. What am I may as welling? There's just 6 is obviously in one of these 3 cells, and this is odd. 1, 7, 9. I mean, it's not very useful. And then 6 is, yeah, too many places. 7s means 7 is in one of 2 in here. 1 of 3 there. 1 of 4 here. Yeah, not helpful at all. I mean, this is a 7, 9. How about sleuth? Come on, come on. 7, 9 gives me 1, gives me 3, gives me 7, gives me 9. And that will help me with, remember these 2 cells, well, they are 5 and 8. That's not the 8, that's 5, that's 8, that's 5 now, that's not 5, that's 1. This is a 2-9 pair, and they are resolved. That means there's a 2 in here, plus the 4. There's no 2, that's what I meant to say. There's a definite 2 there now. And the 2 is not here, so no 2 there, that's 2. This is, neither of these are 1, so this is a 3-4 pair, that's the 1. These are also known. They are 7 and 8. Again, the 8 comes to the rescue, that's 8, that's 7, that's 3. The 7s and 9s, yeah, they're resolvable. 9, 7, the 4 and 3, yeah. Excellent. And suddenly, progress. Excuse me. So I need 3, 7, and 6 in here. And this is 3 or 7. I don't seem to be able to restrict it anymore. I need another 4 or 6. I mean, 4 is placed. So remember that 4 that we deduced with fistamethil, we don't need to worry about deducing it anymore. And then in here it's 1, 9, and 6. And seemingly all of them are available. I'm tempted to pencil mark all of these, by the way, because we're getting to the point where we need to start thinking about these larger even cages. We're really not far off that point. So tempting. But what I'm going to just try and do is clean it up as much as I can. For example, that's an 8 with Sudoku. So essentially I need another 1, 3. I mean, where is 1? That's the 1. That's the 3. Then I need 3 and I'm going to say 5. Somehow I missed the fact that these cages have 5, or boxes I should say. That places a digit down here, which is a 6. Remove 6s. Places a 6. We need a 1 and again a 5, which is not here. That's the 5, that's the 1. 1, 9 pair gives me 2 pairs in here, which we should, a 2 pair, not 2 pairs, which is a 3 and an 8. And I can resolve them with an 8 and a 3. So evens, 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 odd, odd, that's good. So it's not actually needed really. That 3 gave me a 7. That means that's the 7, that's the 9. This is 6 and 3. That is the 3. That is the 6. I mean, I'm pretty sure Sudoku will save me, but essentially evens. 3 odds. This has to be odd, and it's not 3, 5, 7, or 9. It's got to be the 1, which gives me 9, which gives me 1. 1, 3, 5, and not 7. That's 9. We needed a 6 somewhere in here, which can only be there. And if I've not made any mistakes, that's a 7 for the finish. It's a lovely puzzle, Krusti Clawn. Like I said, I mean, when you look at the puzzle, you can tell you're in for a good time. Bit of a clumsy Sudoku, which means I'm not sure I showed off the puzzle as well as I could have. But, I mean, I really enjoyed the initial coloring of the puzzle, just all of these deductions about what the parities could be. Then a few missteps. I don't want to call it missteps, but just trips. Before it kind of smashed it home, I guess. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle in the video. Fantastic puzzle from Krusti Clawn. I think I will definitely be looking at his back catalogue and looking at other puzzles we should be featuring from him. See you back for the next video. Bye-bye for now.